Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Carrie Chandler. This is continuing on from my other vlogs where I've talked about building self-confidence. This is continuing on from the introduction vlog that I did, which will come up in a moment, of the links to that video, and it was in the introduction to this one where I'm talking about bullying, and I give a brief detail of my experience of bullying, and I want to continue on speaking in more detail. I was bullied in my estate where I used to live in Hammersmith by the girl who lived opposite me, and by some kids at school, at primary school. I went to St Paul's Primary in Hammersmith. They started off being really nice to me, didn't have a problem. Then it started off by name calling. As soon as I walked outside my house, the girl opposite would start calling me names. And then she'd get my friends to do it as well. And her friends would start calling me names as well and calling me ugly. And I remember they used to call me Witchy Poo, which now is, I think, couldn't they come up with something better than that? But then, it really did bother me. It was like, why are you picking on me? I've just come outside my house and you're starting calling me names. I hadn't even said anything to them. And the same at primary school, these kids who realised that I was, a lot smaller than the average year 7. And I suppose I was an easy target. They thought I was they kind of treated me as if I was some sort of doll rather than another human being. Lifted me up. They would then carry me over to this hut where they would threaten to cut me apart. And at the time, and now I realise it was just childish behaviour, but then I was quite scared and actually believed it. Because of being quite vulnerable and quite shy anyway, this contributed to my low self-esteem and not feeling good about myself. I kept thinking, why are they picking on me for? What have I done? But eventually they did leave them kids that bullied me. I first started school. My mum did report it because I kept saying to Mum, these girls keep lifting me up, they keep treating me as some sort of doll. But at first it wasn't too bad, but then it kind of got worse. My mum kept telling me, stay with the teacher at lunchtime, break time. And I would, but then it's hard as a kid. You want to be playing with the rest of the kids running around the playground. So then I would go off, and of course they'd pounce on me, these so-called bullies that were in the higher year. And it went on for about, I would say, about 2 years, and then they left. I also spoke about I do apologise, that's my son in his bedroom. And then I was bullied again by, I mentioned in my last video, by this boy who was, again, started off being okay. He was fine. Seemed like a nice kid, he was just a boy at school who like the other boys, played their games and whatever, and sometimes came over and, would tease us and stuff, but nothing that seemed to be malicious. But then one day, at the end of school, he started to call me names, and he started punching me, and he punched me again, and he kept punching me all the way through the end of the class. And the teacher at the time, I know I wasn't her favourite student, but she just sat there, which now I'm still shocked at, why sit there and let someone take that? But she did. But luckily, my dad was waiting downstairs, the assistant headmistress was there. I told her what happened and action was taken. And from this experience, even though, yes, it was negative, and no, I don't think that bullying is acceptable at school, whatever. I think out of me and the bullies, I think I came out the strongest, because in the end, when it came to the end of my time at primary school, I did earn kind of like a respect from the other kids, because I started playing football, and that she obviously must have realised that, you know, I was a lot tougher than what they thought I was. And I came to realise that, you know, going through that and still staying at that school and coming out, I think, on a high at school, it did make me realise that I was a lot stronger than what I was. And then I did toughen up when it came to secondary school, and I remember saying to myself, I'm not going to allow it to happen again. I'm not going to be bullied again. I don't care who starts with me, I'm not going to allow it again. And I didn't get bullied at secondary school, because I did hold my own, and I made sure that they knew that, you know, they weren't going to bother me. And there was a girl who tried. I remember her coming out, in one class, because we used to have science together. And she said, oh, I don't like you. And I said, you know what, I really don't care. I don't like you either. But, you know, let's not lose sleep over it. You stay over there, I'll stay over here. It's fine. And actually, she did leave me alone. I sometimes saw her taking the mickey at me, but do you know what? I didn't care. You know, if that's what made her feel better, then, you know, I'm not going to stop her, you know, at the end of the day. I knew it was just her way of making herself feel better, and really wasn't anything to do with me. And it wasn't just me that she would do it to, she would do it to other kids as well at secondary school. And her so-called friends, I remember listening to them in one class, because we used to have language with some of her friends, that they didn't much like her either. So, you know, and a lot of the time you'll find that the actual, when those so-called group of people are on their own, they're completely different. It's when they're with that one bully, the instigator, is when they think they're tough, but you'll find that actually on their own, they're actually a lot more vulnerable, and they won't say nothing to you. Of course, every case is different, I do respect that. But, you know, going on, someone that has been bullied, you know, I've realised that, you know, bullies are not often on their own. They're always with a group of people, because they're cowards. And so, you know, in those who get bullied at school, I know it's hard. I know you feel like you can't tell anybody, you can't say anything to anyone. You know, if you go to your dad, you know, or your mum and dad, you feel that if they walk into school and, you know, say something to the teacher, it's going to get worse. But you have to fight back, and you have to say something or report it, because it is going to continue. And a lot of the time, if you don't say anything, the people at the top, the headmasters, even in jobs, you know, a lot of managers, they won't know what's going on unless you say something. And so, you know, and you'll probably realise that you weren't the only one that's been bullied by that person or people. They've actually bullied other people, you know, and if someone doesn't say anything, report it, they're going to continue to do it. So, I'm going to end things here, because my little boy's getting a bit fussy now, and, but, you know, please do fight back, don't sit there and take it, and I hope, you know, this encourages other people to speak out and talk about their bullying too, whether it's through YouTube or through doing a blog, whatever way you want to do it. I do think, you know, we should encourage people to speak out, and let's fight back against bullying. So, many thanks for watching my video today, and take care. Goodbye.